Tonight, snow melt and bitter cold temperatures create icy road conditions in the 4 states.
Miami Public Schools is putting their bond issue before the voters again, but this time with some changes. I'm Ty Parks and all that story coming up.
A local sourdough artisan is helping provide bread for her community. I'm Nellie Lopez with more details on that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Snow melt in the 4 states coupled with bitter cold Arctic temperatures are the perfect recipe for icy road conditions for the motorists. This is KOAM News. I'm Blake Gully. Although most of the main highways in the area are clear, many side roads and neighborhoods are still blanketed in ice and snow. Meteorologist Austin Stans joins us with the first look at weather.
Thanks, Blake. Yeah, the past 72 hours, we've seen the perfect combination. Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures above freezing. Now, and we saw some of that melting of the snow going on, slushy conditions beginning to develop. Now here Friday, temperatures well below freezing, so dealing with a high ice threat this weekend, so be careful out there. Temperatures well below freezing tonight, even a cold weather advisory as we head into the midnight hour through Saturday morning as well. So it's a great night to stay inside tonight. If you haven't dusted off that board game in the closet, tonight would be a great night to do that. Temperatures will be right around 15 degrees here at 9 o'clock, down to 12 by 10, and 10 degrees by 11 o'clock. Overnight low, yes, that's 1 degree. Could even dip below 0 there at times. Check out what it's going to feel like as we head into the 10 o'clock hour tonight. Near -5 degrees, waking up tomorrow morning between -10 and 15. Coming up, we'll talk about how long this Arctic air is going to stick around and how it's going to affect your weekend.
Thanks, Austin. The Miami Public School District is putting its bond issue before voters again after it failed in the fall, this time with an increased amount requested. KOAM's Ty Park spoke with the Miami School Superintendent about the necessity for the increase.
The Miami Public Schools is asking voters to approve a $15.7 million bond. Miami Superintendent Jill Douthit tells KOAM what the increase will do.
We were not going to be able to do the exterior walls at Nichols and replace the exterior doors. Every classroom currently has an exterior door, and that's a safety concern. So with this issue, we're going to be able to change all of the exterior walls to where they do not have that outside access.
Also, a playground will be added to the Will Rogers facility, among other updates planned. In Miami area Facebook groups, people are expressing concerns about the groundwater at the site of the new school building.
We reached out to have additional testing done at our site. DEQ declined at that time to do the additional testing because of the non-detect status. So we went ahead and we did third-party testing to find out what environmental issues are there. And that third-party testing also came out and said that there was no detect for benzene or anything like that.
The bond issue failed in fall of 2025.
In Oklahoma is that you have to have a supermajority for them to pass. And we were 2 votes shy from having that supermajority. So we really think that we have the momentum with our community to be able to pass this issue this time. We had several people that came out and said, we just thought it was going to pass.
The mill rate would be 29 cents for every $100 assessed. In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Voters will go back to the polls on February 10th to vote on the bond issue. Coming up, a video from Arkansas captures the moment a building collapses. Plus, snow causes building to collapse in Arkansas. Security cameras capture the moment it caved in. But up first, pharmacists are dying by suicide at a higher rate. Now, local research aims to save lives in the profession. For most people, the pharmacist is that medical professional who helps fill your prescriptions, but many of us never think about their mental health. In fact, a new UNLV-led study shows pharmacists may be at a heightened risk for suicide. Fox's Evan Leaks explains.
Hirsch Makija is happy to be back in his hometown for personal and professional reasons.
I didn't expect to be able to do it, just with how difficult I know med school is, but I'm just glad it's working out.
A first-year medical student at UNLV with a molecular biology degree and master's in general biology and biostats to his name. Now immersed in suicidology, the study of suicide and how to prevent it.
I'm in a very direct niche of working with healthcare workers' suicide. We looked at the pharmacy field and saw there was a lot of research about burnout and depression, but when it came to suicide risk or suicide mortality in general, there really wasn't a lot.
Using data from the National Violent Death Reporting System, Hirsch's study found a 21% higher suicide risk in pharmacists and a 22% larger risk in female pharmacy technicians.
What were some of the factors that stood out that were leading to some of these increased risks?
For pharmacists, we found job problems were heavily associated with suicide. They are under an extreme amount of work stress, being told to keep patients safe in very, very low resource environments.
I think all of that, puts an extra strain on the profession.
Hirsch worked alongside Dr. Kelly Lee, a professor and associate dean at UC San Diego, who's also been a pharmacist for 25 years.
Seeing the results of this study and seeing the heightened risks, was that eye-opening or was that not surprising given your background in the field?
Not surprising. I have always suspected that. Unfortunately, that lack of recognition about what pharmacists can do on a day-to-day basis to ensure that safe medications are delivered to patients, I think that puts a strain on us.
Both Dr. Lee and Hirsch are hopeful that bringing this data to light will lead to more recognition and advocacy to bring these risks down.
This is something you're adding into the knowledge base of science, and this is finally going to help somebody.
Austin is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, sourdough therapy becomes community service, a local baker's mission to feed the hungry.
Well, Arctic air is already beginning to move into the region, and we also saw some snow flurries, maybe even some light snowfall at times. Check this out, our cold front here beginning to push in. This was our stationary front yesterday, but all that Arctic air behind that is helping it win that battle between the cold air and the warm air. But what's happening is as that cold, dense Arctic air pushes in, it condenses, which means it needs less moisture to produce precipitation. So with that low pressure or that warmer air that we have over here as well off to our southwest, as that's meeting together, we're getting these little bands of just light snowfall. But as this continues to push to our southwest, we're going to see all this cloud cover clear out, and that's just going to happen with just in the next few hours. Take a look at this. Temperatures by the time we reach midnight tonight already nearing single digits. Here's the edge of our front beginning to push through here as that cloud cover begins to clear out. Arctic high begins to move in. Going to be seeing mostly clear conditions by the time that we're waking up tomorrow morning here, but temperatures going to be very cold out there. 6 a.m. it's going to be right around 1 degree outside. Take a look at this. As that front passes, though, we could see a gust isolated near 25, 30 miles per hour, so can't rule that out. But after that front makes its way through, things do calm down heading into Saturday morning, but that's not going to change the fact that it's still going to be a very cold evening tonight. Our moon phase forecast, it's in its waxing gibbous phase. The moon itself about 94% visible. The temperature overnight tonight just around 1 degree. Partly cloudy conditions as we make our way into the overnight hours tonight. Our next full moon, February 1st, so Sunday, and it's going to be a little bit more comfortable out there. Be careful still going outside, but make sure you look up this weekend, try to find that full moon. Definitely not on Saturday. Check this out. Negative 11 degrees is what it's going to feel like Saturday morning. Temperatures do rise a little bit for us, but it's still only going to feel like 11 degrees by Saturday evening. So if you head out the door Saturday, well, just take a look at this. This is very important. Don't slip. We're seeing a lot of ice accumulation out there as we've seen a lot of that snow begin to melt Wednesday and Thursday, kind of become slushified out there across the region. And then as that has now happened, temperatures dropping below freezing level has now frozen over, and things have become very slick in areas like side streets, some parking lots, your driveway, your walkway. So just be very careful out there. Saturday, as we head into the afternoon hours, temperatures only topping out around 20 degrees. As we make our way into Saturday evening, cloud cover begins to move back in. Again, with cold air and some moisture available, can't rule out a flurry or two. We are going to see some warmer conditions as we head into Sunday. Check this out here. Sunday, 38 degrees. Monday, back into the 50s. As we head into the middle part of next week, we get some shower chances moving in, maybe even a little bit of accumulating rainfall at times out there. And then as we head into the later part of next week, we'll get some 50s back in the forecast again.
So all I heard was 1 degree tomorrow morning?
Yeah, it's going to be cold out there. That's why I say game night tonight, pancakes tomorrow morning. Just stay inside.
Well, I'm going to stay inside the studio tonight. Thanks, Austin. A building in Benton, Arkansas collapsed under heavy snow on Wednesday. Security camera footage taken from the Saline County Courthouse shows the dramatic moment when a building caved in, creating a cloud of dust. There were no injuries or fatalities. The county wrote on Facebook, "Our prayers remain with the building owners as they navigate the aftermath." Saline County Judge Matt Brumley called the collapse devastating and said the building has stood for a very long time before the weight of the sleet and snow and frozen rain caused the roof to buckle. The business wasn't the only building to collapse in Benton this week. On Tuesday, January 27th, the roof of an arena at the Saline County Fairgrounds gave way under heavy snow. Coming up next, is another government shutdown on the horizon?
It's a pivotal Friday on Capitol Hill as Congress looks to avert another government shutdown. I'm Caroline Elliott in New York, and I'll have the latest details coming up.
A Joplin baker turns personal struggle into community support. KOAM's Nellie Lopez gives us a closer look at how a baker's sourdough hobby is helping put bread on the table.
I started baking about 2.5 years ago. I was in a mom group at my church, and I was actually going through postpartum depression at the time, and I found a really cool group of people, and a woman there invited me to her house to learn how to make sourdough.
Beth later found baking sourdough was the best therapy for her. At the time, she was finding it challenging to extend compassion to others. However, when the government shut down in the late 2025, leaving many families in need, baking took on a deeper, more meaningful purpose for her.
When I had heard that the government was shutting down, I knew that there were going to be hungry people in our community.
By then, Beth already had several customers buying her sourdough. She decided to take it a step further.
I shot them an email and I said, hey, this is my idea. If you want to sponsor a loaf, you can sponsor a loaf for $5. That was basic cost. That was not going to give me any profit at all.
With the help of the community, she had sourdough bread ready to donate.
I decided if it were me and I were needing bread, I probably would not want to show my face to someone. So I just decided to leave it in the blessing box, and then whoever came to the box could get it.
Community boxes like this one where you can take what you need and leave what you can, giving the community the option of getting food and maintaining privacy. She could simply buy bread, a much cheaper and faster option. But she believes someone without the means to eat should have access to healthy options.
Sourdough bread is healthy, and so being able to give families something healthy that's going to nourish their kids, themselves, that's really nice too.
In Joplin, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Beth also puts all the ingredients on the bread labels along with a Bible verse to let the person know they are not alone, a way for her to spread some joy. Coming up next, an emergency worker allergic to pets risks his life to save a dog from icy waters. The ironic occurrence up ahead. Across parts of the country, frozen ponds and lakes are drawing people into thin ice, often to help animals in distress. In central Arkansas this week, a pair of dramatic rescues ended with lives saved, but also served as a stark warning about the risk of going out onto frozen water. As Christopher Gay reports, safety officials say the situation can turn deadly in seconds.
Wait. Because if you do not have the proper gear and you get in that cold water, it will kill you.
Shannon Ellington spent 25 years with the Little Rock Fire Department before joining the Pulaski County Office of Emergency Management. He once watched one of his captains attempt a daring water rescue.
His grandbaby had fell in the water. The water was still cold. He jumped in the water and got the baby, was able to give the baby back to the mother on the boat, and he went under and never come back up.
It's a risk that Joel Newman took to save a young deer on Wednesday, who he believes had been injured.
Apparently it had been attacked possibly by a coyote, a bobcat, I don't know. I don't recommend doing what we did because we took a chance.
Shannon Ellington made a save of his own this past week, rescuing a dog that had fallen through the ice in an East End pond.
Went down there, located the dog, got into my gear, waited for East End Fire Department to arrive on scene.
Once assistance arrived, Ellington was ready to make the save.
Hooked a tag line to me. I slid out across the ice to where the dog was at. Was able to get my hands on the dog and get him up on the ice sheet.
At one point, Ellington fell through the ice, but it didn't stop him from getting the dog named Chewy out of the freezing waters.
But it wasn't too deep, fortunately. It was cold. It was very cold. Pretty good sized puppy too. He's about 100-pound. He was a hefty little fella.
Despite Ellington's life-saving actions, he doesn't usually interact with animals.
The irony of this whole story is I'm allergic to pets.
Check out this video from the city of Olathe Fire Department. Crews from the department joined forces with the Fort Scott Fire Department to rescue this distressed deer from the icy waters of Lake Fort Scott. The deer was stranded about 100 yards from the shore. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. ICE detention plans scrapped in OKC, but lawmakers warn the fight isn't over. What's ahead? And new Epstein documents name Trump hundreds of times. Congress demands answers about what's still hidden.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
The Justice Department is releasing millions of documents along with thousands of photos and videos and other files related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. The much anticipated document dump comes a month after Congress' deadline to release all of the files. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shevely takes a closer look at what's included.
The DOJ releasing another wave of evidence related to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on Friday, including more than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images.
Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people.
Some of the files released Friday show Epstein's correspondence with Elon Musk, including this email reportedly from Musk asking to visit Epstein in the Caribbean in 2013. But Musk posted on X last year, "Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused." Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says the White House is not involved in the review or release of any of the documents. A Fox review of the files found President Trump's name mentioned hundreds of times with no indication of any criminal wrongdoing.
Has every document that mentions the word Trump been released? Yes or no? We need answers.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody.
There are multiple redactions in Friday's release, but the Justice Department claims they're to protect victim identities and ongoing investigations.
There's not some tranche of super secret documents about Jeffrey Epstein that we're withholding.
The House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed numerous members of Epstein's inner circle to testify, including convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell.
And this whole investigation is not just about the crimes, but about the cover-up as well.
The House could vote as early as next week on contempt of Congress charges for Bill and Hillary Clinton, who have defied a subpoena to appear before the Oversight Committee over their contacts with Epstein. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
More than a week after reports surfaced about a potential ICE detention center in southwest Oklahoma City, Mayor David Holt confirms the plan is off. The property owners told Holt they're no longer negotiating with Homeland Security. State Representative Arturo Alonso, vice chair of the Legislative Latino Caucus, says they remain cautious. He warns the administration may seek other locations.
Weary because this facility isn't going to open at the location in South Council doesn't mean that the federal administration is going to continue looking for other potential locations to locate their ICE processing facility. So we're going to keep an eye on what that could look like.
We're learning more about the investigation into the deaths of 2 protesters in Minneapolis as tensions there continue to escalate. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has more from Minneapolis.
We are here to show that we will not be silent. Yeah!
Plenty of protesters hit the streets of Minneapolis, braving single-digit temperatures to make their voices heard as tensions continue over ICE raids in the city. Friday's protests have been largely peaceful, though at least 2 demonstrators were arrested when they tried to block agents from entering a federal building. And they're hoping their movement will spread across the country. They're calling for a, quote, national shutdown to show lawmakers they're serious about defunding ICE.
Does our commitment to keep dreaming new strategies, new alliances, new formations in the face of your brute force overwhelm you, Donald Trump?
It comes as the Justice Department has opened a civil rights investigation into the shooting death of protester Alex Preddy.
We're looking at videos, talking to witnesses, trying to understand what happened. I mean, you're talking about an incredibly tragic morning, and then trying to unwind and investigate that it takes a lot of time.
Meanwhile, the fallout from a protest at a Minneapolis church continues. Federal agents arresting former news anchor Don Lemon, along with several others, prompting immediate condemnation from Democrats on Capitol Hill.
Once again, the administration is behaving no differently from police states and authoritarian regimes across history.
Meantime, the Justice Department says it's trying to determine if any outside groups are funding the protests that have been taking place here. In Minneapolis, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
The Senate inching closer to an agreement to fund the government, but even if a deal gets done, it still needs to pass the House, meaning a temporary government shutdown is all but inevitable. Fox News multimedia reporter Caroline Elliott reports.
Down to the wire, the Senate meeting in Washington to hammer out a last-minute funding package.
Senator Thune wants this vote on the floor. Senator Thune wants to avoid a shutdown. President Trump wants to avoid a shutdown.
At the very least, a partial government shutdown is unavoidable. But the question is, how long will it be?
There'll be a temporary one because we're going to pass it today. There'll be a couple of days and the House will come back and pass it.
The holdup largely revolves around the Department of Homeland Security.
It appears as though there'll be a CR for DHS funding for a couple of weeks. And then we're going to have a debate. We're going to have a debate whether or not we're a country that believes in law and order.
With Democrats protesting the latest spending package after a second deadly shooting in Minneapolis.
Using taxpayer dollars literally to kill American citizens in cold blood. That's what Republicans have done.
We need real accountability over ICE and the Border Patrol. Masks need to come off, cameras need to stay on, and officers need visible identification. No secret police.
After the Senate votes, the bill goes back to the House for final passage.
As soon as possible, but as you know, it usually takes 72 hours.
Speaker Johnson says the earliest the full House could vote is on Monday. In New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Austin is next with a complete look at the forecast.
The NFL regular season is over, but the MFL, the Mutant Football League, is going strong. I'm Eamon Dignam, and I spoke to the makers of the post-apocalypse football game, along with the voice of a gaming generation.
Well, cold Arctic air is moving into the region, and that all starts in the upper levels of the atmosphere due to a strong upper level low that is developing. We're going to see this trough really dig in here on Saturday. To give you an idea of how extensive this system is, we're going to see temperatures near freezing all the way down in Miami, Florida. It is going to be very cold here in the 4 states. Notice the pink shades here around the 4 states region. Temperatures going to be headed below zero. Now we have our cold front that's just beginning to pass right now this evening, and as we head into tomorrow morning, we're going to see mostly clear conditions due to this Arctic high that's going to continue moving into the area this evening. Now, taking a look ahead, right around that midnight hour, this is the edge of that cold front that's pushing all this cloud cover out of the area as that high pressure begins to move in. Temperatures near single digits as we head into those overnight hours with clouds beginning to clear as we're waking up. And take a look, Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, all sitting at 1 degree there. Taking a look at your wind gusts for this evening, we could see a wind gust or two spike to right around 30 miles per hour. So it could be a little bit gusty as we make our way throughout the evening tonight. But after we head into those overnight hours, things will begin to calm down for us. Now, with those skies clearing, tomorrow's not going to be a great night. But Sunday, that is going to be a good night. I'll tell you why here. Our waxing gibbous is our moon phase currently right now, with it being currently about 94% visible. But temperatures tonight only about a degree, could even go below zero at times. While it will be partly cloudy and you might be able to catch a glimpse, it's just too cold. But temperatures are back above freezing on Sunday, and that is our next full moon. So make sure you get out there and look up, but be safe out there. It is going to be a little bit slick this weekend. Check out these temperatures Saturday morning, feeling like -11 out there. Going to be very cold. So all I have to say is if you are going to head outdoors Saturday morning, afternoon, Don't slip. It's a little slick out there in areas like your driveway, your walkway, especially if you didn't get the snow cleared really well. I know there's plenty of side streets out there that have not been cleared as well as the main roads. So taking a look at Saturday afternoon, temperatures only making their way to right around 20 degrees. Then we're going to see some cloud cover move back in. This is indicating that there is some moisture available. So a few flurries like we saw tonight, not out of the question there. But the good news is, as we head into Sunday, we're going to see a warm front pass. That's going to have our temperatures headed up in the right direction, above freezing, nearing 40 degrees there by the time we reach Sunday afternoon. Taking a look at our drought tracker, we could use some rainfall in the region as we're still dealing with some drought conditions across the 4 states. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any until Tuesday, but we could get some accumulating rainfall in some areas. Taking a look at your 10-day forecast and what you can expect ahead, we're back into the 50s on Monday. Same for Tuesday. That's when our next system arrives. Could linger into the morning hours of Wednesday. Then we're near 50. Could even break into the 50s on Thursday. So there's some really good things to talk about in this forecast. We just have to get through an Arctic freeze weekend.
Yes, I'm not excited about this weekend, but I am smiling about seeing some 50s in the forecast.
I know we were all joking around here in the station. We might have to wear shorts into the station on one of those days.
Well, I don't know about that. Thanks, Austin. Still ahead, plenty of high school basketball around the 4 states. Ben McLeish has highlights from the hardwood coming up next in sports.
Basketball season continues to dominate the calendar in the 4 states, with tonight being no different as local teams fill the gym this Friday night. Tipping off in Pittsburgh with the Colgan Panthers hosting Girard. The Panthers dominating early on. We head to the second quarter. Jacayla Davis driving up court. She pulls up for the fadeaway jumper and knocks it down through contact. She completes the three-point play to put Colgan up 19. And here's Mariella Gilmore with the steal. She passes it to Davis, who lays it in to put the Panthers up 21. The Trojans look to respond, though. Some nice ball movement here, finding Kennedy Keller, who hooks it in over the defender off the glass and in for the Trojan points, but it's the Panthers coming out on top 51-17. Panthers boys squad looking to snap a 3-game skid against the Trojans. Ben Cullen driving for Girard. His floater is no good, but Jackson Smith is right there for the board and the basket to put the Trojans on the board. But the Panthers are relentless on defense. Brady Bottega with the steal. He'd take it all the way for the easy basket and the Colgan lead. Now it's Quincy Beal in transition, weaving his way through defenders and knocking down the layup as the Panthers sweep the Trojans 54-39 the final. The Frontenac Raiders back at home hosting Columbus for a pair. Early first quarter, Frontenac leading. Maddie Bland finds Marley Stout, who fights off contact for the bucket plus a foul. A 13-1 run start for the Raiders. The Titans looking for some offense, working the ball around. Caitlin Drieger to Hallie Gray, and the freshman drills the 3. Second quarter, Frontenac leading by double digits. Bland intercepts this pass, connecting with Reese Franklin for the lay-in. Raiders get back in the win column with the dominant 62-18 win. The Raiders and Columbus boys squad clashing for the first time this year. Early first quarter, Columbus with the quick ball movement as Ethan Midget finds an open Cooper Saiz for the easy bucket underneath. Titans strike first. Second quarter action, Raiders Drake Clayton finds Jake Wagner wide open on the weak side, and the senior lays it in, plus the foul. Later in the corner, Frontenac going back to the big man down low. Wagner spins and scores on the reverse layup as the Raiders take down the Titans 53-39. In Baxter Springs, it's a rivalry renewed between the Lions and Riverton starting off in the second quarter. Some good Rams ball movement leads to a wide open Chloe Green from three-point land. She drains it, and Riverton is on fire. Baxter's Bailey Campbell trapped in the corner. She heaves it to Kirsten Bergraff. She takes one dribble and puts it up, banking it in off the glass for 3. The Rams were resilient. The extra pass is to an open Ellie Helms, whose triple is nothing but net. Riverton dominates 51-16. The Rams looking for a 6th straight win, taking on the Lions in the nightcap. First quarter, Riverton's Levi Mann driving inside, passes to a wide open Tyler Wrights in the corner, who drains the triple. Now it's the Lions' turn from 3. Isaiah Main from 3 pulls up from deep. It bounces off the rim and in. Logan Abbott now coming down with the board. He'll take it the length of the court, finishing off with a smooth layup, but it's the Rams taking this one 57-53. Due to mechanical issues at the city's water tower, Galena now hosting Commerce on the court. Commerce gets off to an early lead as Mia Williams steals the pass and scores with no defenders in her zip code. Now Sydney Daylight driving, putting up the tough shot. It's no good, but Irish McCleary comes down with the rebound and puts it right back up for two. Galena's Morgan Strong passes it over to Madison Boys. She passes it back to Strong, now in the corner. Strong's three is nothing but net, but Commerce takes down Galena 46-30. The Bulldogs boys eyeing a third straight win to round out the night. Commerce with some great ball movement, find an open Rowdy McVeigh, who knocks down the tray for the Tigers. Swade Dixon now running down the court in transition, puts up the tough shot and bangs it in off the glass for the Bulldogs. Now Dixon passing it over to Jet Geisel. He pulls up from the spot and drains the triple as Galena takes this one 51-48. On the Missouri side, Webb City hitting the road to battle Glendale. First quarter, Joelle Rover with the fadeaway jumper. That puts Glendale up by 10 points. But Webb City here starting to wake up. Trey Young with the assist to Jackson Adams, and off the corner he drills the three-pointer to tie this one up. Glendale pulls away by double digits again, but Webb's not done. Check this out. Hudson Mathiasen takes matters in his own hands. He knocks down the three off the key, and he is fired up. That's Webb City's first lead of the day, but the Cardinals are unable to stop Glendale's late-game rally, 59-54 the final. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Okay, mutants are taking over the football world, but not to worry, they're only in video games for now. Fox Emin Dignam has more in this edition of Fox on Game series.
Michael Menheim loves football and B-movies. He's been combining them since the 90s when he worked for Electronic Arts, where he created Mutant League Football, which was second only to Madden in terms of popularity.
Now it's, considered a classic game. If you go Google what are the all-time classic football games, Mutant League Football is always going to be there.
Now Menheim is the creative designer of Digital Dreams, and he says Mutant League Football spawned toys, sequels, and a Saturday morning cartoon before EA let the intellectual property lie dormant. So he snatched it up.
We self-funded the title, we did a Kickstarter campaign, and we were able to release MFL 1. And it was a reasonably solid success for our company.
And with that funding, they brought in the man from everybody's favorite arcade basketball game, NBA Jam.
I am Mr. Boom Shakalaka, a.k.a. Tim Kitzrow, or it's the other way around. The original voice of NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, and all your favorite sports games. And I am now proudly the voice, maybe three voices, of Mutant Football League.
And he's bound to get a bigger paycheck for the Mutant League reboot than he did for NBA Jam. It was only $800, but it also set up his career.
Those games and NFL Blitz had a huge influence on the arcade, the pop culture world, everything else, the video game world. Man, oh man, it just blew my mind.
And with Super Bowl 60 right around the corner, Menheim says his games have a better prediction rate than Madden does. So we'll factor that into our own predictions next week. In New York, Eamon Dignam, Fox News.
Up next, from Cat Williams comedy to Billy Magnum's Silicon Valley drama, the stars lighten up your screens. A popular historical romantic drama prepares for its final chapter, and a comedy icon returns to Netflix for more laughs. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all of the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Okay. Magnuson takes on Silicon Valley, Holler scores another season, and Williams goes for more laughs in the Hollywood Nation.
I'm supposed to eat these my friends.
Cat Williams is back on Netflix. The comedy icon returns for his fourth stand-up special, Cat Williams: The Last Report, premiering February 4th. He will deliver his signature bold take on conspiracies, celebrities, and current culture.
If I can't win this, Meg.
You are Mickey Holler. Speaking of Netflix, Manuel Garcia Rolfo will have more time in court as Mickey Holler. The streamer renewed The Lincoln Lawyer for a fifth season ahead of its season 4 premiere February 5th. The episodes will be based on the 7th book in the series.
I am meant to be here.
In today's First Looks, Outlander is gearing up for its last chapter. Stars dropped the trailer for the 8th and final season of the time-traveling drama, premiering March 6th. The final episodes find Jamie and Claire back at Fraser's Ridge as a chilling prophecy predicting Jamie's death resurfaces, putting their future and fate to the test. Billy Magnuson steps into the high-stakes world of Silicon Valley in the trailer for The Audacity. Magnuson leads the drama as a data mining CEO chasing power and influence inside the tech industry's most powerful inner circles. The cast includes Simon Helberg, Sarah Goldberg, Lucy Punch, and Zach Galifianakis. The dark comedy premieres April 12th on AMC and AMC+. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a Bengal tiger at the Black Beauty Ranch in Texas. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.